Okay, let's make a start. I was hoping that my dog, who's having a very loud drink in the background, would finish before the spotlight came onto me. So if you can hear that, I do apologise. The joys of us still working remotely, I suppose. Welcome everyone to the 2021 Women's Health Grampians Annual General Meeting. My name is Amy Rhodes and it's my honour to be the chair of the Women's Health Grampians Board. I would like to formally welcome my fellow board members, our staff, Women's Health Grampians members and representatives from our many partners. Any apologies that have been received for today will be recorded and included in the AGM minutes. Today's meeting is being recorded and will be available on our website tomorrow. Firstly, before we continue, I'd like to acknowledge that we are on Aboriginal land. I particularly want to acknowledge the lands that most of us are on, being the Wadawurrung, Dja Dja Wurrung, Wurundjeri, Wotjobaluk, Jadwa, Jadwa Jali, Wagaya and Yapagulk lands. I wish to pay respect to the people of these lands, their elders past and present, and to all Aboriginal people joining us today. We know that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples have the oldest continuous living culture in the world and that sovereignty was never ceded. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. The image you are seeing is the artwork that was used for NAIDOC Week this year with the theme Heal Country. And we're very much looking forward to hearing from Bonnie Chu later in the meeting on her reflections on mindfulness and connection to country. We begin this AGM and celebration with the formal part of the meeting, which includes an election for 2 new board members. I would like to remind all Women's Health Grampians members that you should have already received your voting link via email and that voting will close very shortly in 10 minutes at 12:15. So if you're yet to action that, please do go ahead and do so within the next 10 minutes. Following the business part of the meeting, as mentioned, we have our keynote speaker, Bonnie Chu. And then we'll hear from 2 fantastic musicians from our region, Stella Sabi and Unmani. If you have any questions, you can enter them into the chat box at any time at the bottom of your screen. And you're also very welcome to use the chat for any contributions during the meeting. We now move into the formal business of today's meeting with the confirmation of the minutes of the 2020 AGM. I'd like to confirm the minutes of the 2020 AGM held on the 18th of November 2020, which have been provided to members prior to this meeting. Can I please call on a member who was present at last year's meeting to move that the minutes be received? Jenny, thank you. And can I have someone to second this, please? Thank you, Jess. We now move on to confirmation of special general meetings held in 2020 and 2021. I would like to confirm that the minutes of 2 special general meetings, which were held to vote on the new Women's Health Grampians Constitution. Firstly, the special general meeting held on the 18th of November 2020. Can I have someone who was present to move these minutes, please? Thank you, Jess. And someone to second. Thank you, Jenny. And then we held another special general meeting to finalise the new constitution on the 4th of February 2021. Can I please call on a member who was present at this meeting to move that the minutes be received? Thank you, Jenny. And someone to second this? Thank you, Jess. Excellent. We now move on to, oh, that's my dog you can hear in the background. He's on neighbourhood watch. My apologies. We now move on to the presentation of the annual report. Following positive feedback from 2020, we again present our annual report to you in digital format. You can view it on the website at your leisure, and Marianne will share some further highlights later in the meeting. On behalf of the board, I would like to share some reflections on the past year. The year was dominated again, as for all of us, by the disruption and unpredictability of the COVID pandemic, requiring us to adapt, rethink, reschedule, and generally be prepared for anything. The board and Marianne, our CEO, have worked closely to constantly review areas of risk and strategies to manage this uncertainty. And this has been vital to maintaining stability and sense of purpose in all areas of governance over the past year. I commend the staff for their willingness to adapt and commitment to continuing to deliver high quality and engaging programs despite all the uncertainty. It has been quite a significant year in terms of movement for social change. We've seen the amplification of messaging around our core business, gender equality and the prevention of violence, abuse and sexual harassment, alongside ongoing work in highlighting racism and structural inequalities. As major stories around these issues have unfolded across our country, we have drawn inspiration from the bravery of Grace Tame, Brittany Higgins, and the thousands of women across Australia who marched for justice. And along with them, we continue to seek accountability and justice. Of particular significance this year for both board and staff has been the completion of our cultural safety audit and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Cultural Safety Framework Project, which has laid a strong foundation for the progression of our Reconciliation Action Plan. This remains a key priority for Women's Health Grampians. We were delighted to see our new constitution passed unanimously in February, a clear and accessible document that we believe is more fit for the purposes we now pursue, reflecting our goals in diversity and inclusion and clarity around membership and other processes. The board remained stable during the year, with the only change being the formal election of Jessica Grimble. We undertook a valuable exercise in succession planning, and we seek to continue to recruit women from a diversity of backgrounds and lived experiences across the region to help steer the organisation, ensure a genuine intersectional focus in our work, and represent our members. We look forward to a year of recovery and consolidation ahead, with the health and wellbeing of our communities across the Grampians remaining a key priority. Our wonderful treasurer, Julianne Zajac, or Jazz, as she's known to us, is unfortunately unwell today and can't be here to present the financial report. But I would now like to call on another fantastic member of that committee in Jenny Courtney to present this on behalf of the board. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks, Amy. And for those of you who know me, I'm usually doing words, not numbers. So bear with me while I stand in for Jazz, our fantastic treasurer. So I've got the pleasure in presenting the financial report for Women's Health Grampians Incorporated for the year ending 30th of June 2021. The full set of financial reports is available on our website. So this year, Count Pro Accounting Proprietary Limited of 20 Lydiard Street South, Ballarat, conducted the audit of the financial accounts. During the year ended 30th of June 2021, Women's Health Grampians derived total revenue of $1,567,198 compared to $1,328,513 in the 2020 financial year. This included investment income of $28,362 compared to $19,777 in the 2020 financial year. The investments held as at the 30th of June 21 have recorded from the decline due to COVID-19 in the 2020 year. Cash reserves have increased since 30th of June 2020 due to Women's Health Grampians' success in being awarded additional program funding, which has delivered greater diversification. The total expenditure in this financial year was $1,469,962, which included depreciation of capital assets to the value of $55,669. After allowing for all of the above items of income and expenditure, Women's Health Grampians had a net operating surplus for the financial year of $97,236. This year, Women's Health Grampians was again impacted by COVID-19, but continued to operate at a really high standard. We're pleased with our outcomes for this year, given the set of circumstances. And this result is because of the good, prudent financial management by both the Board of Management and staff. The financial position of Women's Health Grampians is stable as at the 30th of June 2021, and the board looks forward to the coming year where we can continue to operate in the ever-changing environment of women's health. I would like to move that this report be accepted, and can I call on a member to second that the financial report be accepted?
Yeah, I'm happy to second.
I can't see. Who was that?
Di Thompson, board member, happy to second.
I can't see you on the thing up the top. That's fantastic. Thanks, Di.
Thank you, Jenny. We now move to general business for which notice has been given. No items of general business have been received, so we'll now move on to the CEO report. Thanks, Marianne.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy and Jenny. Hoping my microphone is on. Look, I want to start by thanking the board and Amy for their support over this past year. It's been another challenging one, and the board has been a generous and patient and a source of great wisdom during these times. Being directly engaged in research and advocacy around the impact of COVID on women and the emotional load that that's created, we've been particularly mindful of how we support our staff and the culture that we promote to ensure everyone's well-being. Never have family-friendly policies and practices been so evidently needed, especially for those with caring responsibilities at home. Despite these challenges, our staff have been tremendous in staying the course, supporting each other, and I believe being even more productive than ever, as you'll soon see in the annual report and in the short video we'll run in a few minutes. Amy mentioned the importance of our work in regards to the Reconciliation Action Plan, and I want to affirm the commitment of all of our staff to progressing this. Everyone contributed with, I think, great depth and sincerity to the development of the Statement of Reconciliation that's included in the annual report, and I encourage you to read and reflect on this. And this statement has certainly set the context for us to continue to listen and learn and reflect as we continue on this important journey. The Communities of Respect and Equality, the core strategy, moved into a new phase in the last 12 months with the comprehensive evaluation of the first 4 years of core and the launch of the second iteration. We're delighted with sustained and strong stakeholder buy-in and really encouraged by the enthusiastic recommitment from core members. The role of core demonstrates further value through the implementation of the Gender Equality Act, and we relish the opportunity that that has provided us to work even more closely with all the public entities progressing gender equality measures, despite the challenges of COVID, of course. For us, strong collaborative partnerships continue to be fundamental to our values and to our effectiveness. And there are several examples of this throughout the report. A good example is the Action for Gender Equality Partnership, otherwise known as AGEP, which involves the 12 Victorian Women's Health Services, Gender Equity Victoria and Koori Women Mean Business. This is aligned really well with the deepening intersectional lens across all areas of our work. Once again, our staff numbers increased, thanks in part to the opportunity to participate in the Women project led by the Multicultural Centre for Women's Health, which provided us with 6 fantastic bilingual educators across the region. We were also really fortunate to recruit several other new staff in business admin, in the Central Highlands Integrated Family Violence Committee, and also Gender Equality Act advisor roles. We farewelled 3 terrific staff members, Christiana Knapman, Marika Dan, and Belinda Sue Parsons, who all left strong legacies, and we thank them very much for their work. I would also like to thank Natasha Olasov, who completed her Masters of Social Work student placement with us during last year. We'll now run a short video showcasing the annual report for 2021. Thank you, Ange and Deb. Sorry, it's back to me. I think we had a little glitch in the sound there. So as you can see, there's a tremendous amount in there, and once again, a massive thanks to the wonderful Women's Health Grampians staff. I was going to ask if everybody could just wave their hands so that people can see who the staff are, but I'm not sure that's actually going to work with so many on the screen. So if if you want to give a wave and hopefully you can be seen, that'd be great. Thank you all. I now pass back to Amy.
Thanks, Marianne. And I just wanted to reiterate on behalf of the board the pride that we all have watching the recap of all the work that's been done this year. As I mentioned before, in the circumstances, it's even more impressive. And personally and on behalf of the board, again, my thanks to each and every member of our incredible staff. And of course to you, Marianne, as the leader of that outstanding group of people. The next item of business today is the appointment of the board and the results of our board election. I'll now step down as chair and hand back to Marianne as our board secretary and returning officer for the appointment of board members and the results of our board elections. Marianne.
Thank you, Amy. So this was a bit of a first for us this year, because we have, in the time that I've been CEO, which is about, I think this is my 7th AGM, or if not my 6th, we've never had to have elections. But this year we have, so really quite a different feel, but very exciting with the level of interest. So our board term is 2 years. A board member may re-nominate for up to 2 further terms. No board member can serve more than 3 consecutive terms or 6 years. So we have 4 members whose first or second terms have expired, and they have re-nominated for the period 2021 to 2023. So those 4 members are Julianne Zajac, or Jazz, for a second term. And as I said, Jazz is an apology, but we thank her for that. Frances Selenja has re-nominated for a 3rd term. Thank you, Frances. Di Thompson has re-nominated for a 2nd term, and Jenny Courtney also for a 2nd term. So thank you both. So we had 2 resignations from the board at this point, and that has left us with 2 vacancies to be filled. So we actually had, I believe, 32 inquiries and distributed 32 board information packs, which was, as I say, unprecedented for us. But very, very pleasing to think of that level of interest across the region. So in the end, for the positions, we received 3 candidate nominations from Nella Corey, Carly Myers and Kobe McQueen. And our members have undertaken an online voting process within the last 30 minutes to determine the outcome. And I can declare now that the outcome of that election is that Carly Myers and Onella Corey have been elected to the board. I declare the appointments of Jazz, Frances, Di, Jenny, Onella and Carly And I want to sincerely thank Kobe McQueen for putting herself forward for election. And I do hope that we will have an opportunity in the future for you to be a part of our board. So welcome to you all, and I'll hand back to Amy now.
Thank you, Marianne. As Marianne mentioned, we do have 2 retiring board members, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank them. Our outgoing board members are Rachel Whitaker and Shauna Dominelli. Rachel has been on the board for 5 years, and during that time has been highly engaged, taking on the role of Deputy Chair and chairing the Governance Subcommittee. Rachel, you will be sorely missed, and thank you for everything that you've contributed to the board. Shauna joined the board in 2019 and has also been a significant contributor, as well as establishing a new business in the background and working another job. Not surprisingly, there's been a need for Shauna to refocus due to COVID, and we wish her well with everything. Thank you, Shauna. I also acknowledge the other members of the board that will be staying on with us into 2022. It's myself, Jessica Grimble, and Shani Kane. Certainly an exciting time ahead for our board, and we're looking forward to the year to come. It's my pleasure to now declare the formal part of the meeting complete, and I'm going to invite our fellow board member, Jenny Courtney, back to lead us through the next part of the meeting. Thank you, Jenny.
Thanks, Amy, for doing the formal part. Let's go to the informal part. It's really exciting to introduce Bonnie today as our guest speaker. It's been well documented that during COVID, many of us have obtained great comfort and healing and emotional support from nature and the world around us, and indeed simply have become more aware of our physical surroundings. And I know I was extremely grateful to be able to head down to the Yarrawee Creek regularly during the lockdowns and wander through the trees of the Black Hill Reserve. And it's a really nourishing piece of nature right in the centre of the city for me and my family and the dogs. So I really connect with our topic today. We acknowledge that connection to country is uniquely important to Aboriginal people, and that a spiritual, physical, social and cultural connection is intrinsic to the life and well-being, and with that, a deep commitment to care for land and country. Bonnie Chu is the Director of the Miriu Cultural Consulting, with extensive knowledge in mental health first aid, Aboriginal cultural heritage management, reconciliation action planning, incarceration, genealogy, health and education. Such a rich and broad background and experiences you bring, Bonnie. She currently holds 2 ministerial appointed positions: Indigenous Independent Prison Visitor and Indigenous Heritage Representative of Victoria on the Victorian Public Records Advisory Council. So Bonnie, I'm really excited to hear from you and for you to share your reflections with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you don't mind, I've asked for my part not to be recorded just because I don't want to.
Most marvellous meeting to be privileged to attend. And a couple of initial comments and then the music. First of all, I'm not sure about the latency and the connectivity here. So once I start, I'll just keep going, and we women just get on with it. So you may or may not, you might hear lags. We can't do anything else more about it. And also, I'm in Walwal, I'm on a farm. I'm 21 k's from the nearest tower, and so, but I have the grand piano here ready to go. Last, by way of introduction, I really picked up on the silence point that Bonnie made amongst many, and how I can bring that right now into my own music making, the marriage of silence and sound. And if I go with that, I'm in the present moment and not into my nervousness and ego and all that stuff. So I'm well reminded. So I'm going to begin now and enjoy. Just turn you a little bit so you can see my glorious girl here.
There's virtual silent rounds of applause happening for you, and Marnie, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. And the internet stayed on.
As a You're kidding me. Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Just wonderful. Thank you.
Such a privilege to play. I found myself getting emotional just playing that last piece.
And someone has commented, does anyone else have something in their eye? I think we all might have got a little emotional there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thanks so much, Imani. It certainly made me feel emotional. It was gorgeous.
Absolutely
privilege.
Beautiful.
I'm going to skedad. Thank you, everyone. That was
Thank
wonderful.
you so much. Wonderful. Hard act to follow, but I think, Stella, you're up for it. So our next guest is Stella Sabi. She's a singular blend of funk, soul, reggae and ska, unlike any other performer in Australia. Her original music is influenced by the Seychelles Island heritage that she has and the sounds of the islands fused with reggae and ska guitar rhythms. Might need to do the standing desk thing for this one, Stella, and have a boogie. Her original material showcases her talent as a songwriter and vocalist. Her expressive and soulful vocal style captivates audiences all over Australia. She's been a professional musician for over 20 years and a multi-instrumentalist. Stella is a renowned percussionist and vocalist, so a one-person band, which is fantastic. So over to you, Stella.
Hello, gorgeous, amazing, talented people out there. How are you all? I think that an AGM is a great excuse for great minds to get together, and I think we need to find a few more excuses rather than an AGM. Now, I just saw someone said that they're also from the Seychelles. Where are you, Coconut? Bonjour. There you are. Hello. So I'm going to do a few tunes for you, and this first one I'm going to do was written by Donny Hathaway back in the day, and it's been my little COVID anthem, and it's called Trying Times. We'll see why. Trying times is what the world is talking about. We got confusion all over the land. Mother against daughter, father against son. The whole thing is getting out of hand. And then we wouldn't have to suffer now if there were more love for your brothers. But these are trying times. We got the riots in the ghettos, and it's all around. And a whole lot of things that's wrong are going down. I don't understand it. My point of view. Somebody said do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And then we wouldn't have to suffer, no, if there were more love for your mothers. But these are trying times. All people always talking about man's inhumanity to man. But what are you trying to do to make this a better land? You just pick up your paper, turn on your TV. We see a lot of demonstrations for equality. And we would there were more love for your brothers. But these are trying times, and though we wouldn't have to suffer, no, if there were more love for your mothers. But these are trying times. Trying times. Merci. The next song that I'm going to do is called Kilchi. And Kilchi is Creole for culture. And this song is about how we must all impart with our culture. No matter what your culture is, where you are from, or what nationalities you have in your family, it is really important that you touch base with your culture. And I thought that this would be a great one to do today, because mostly in our world, it's women, mothers, that teach culture and teach the language. And it's really important for quite a few reasons, but the main one being that when we speak the languages and we cook the food and we dance the dances and we do all of those things, they're kept alive and they're kept very present. And unfortunately in Australia, we've lost so much culture, not just Indigenous culture, but also from, you know, a good 150 years of migration. My father came here from the Seychelles as a refugee, and he could speak 5 or 6 languages at that time. And now he, you know, kind of struggles to speak his mother tongue of Creole. And, you know, that's really sad, because we are so, I'll say the word, whitewashed in this country. Everything is English dominated. And I think it's really important that everybody continue to speak or seek out their culture. And so this song, Kilchi, is talking about that. Montrer aux enfants, pas oublier la langue, pas montrer aux enfants, pas oublier la langue, pas montrer aux enfants, pas oublier oulala, patazukiti. Merci, merci. The next song that I'm going to do for you, I didn't write, but I really wish that I did write it. And I'd like to dedicate this song particularly to our current government. It's called Jailer. I'm in chains, you're in chains too. I wear uniforms and you wear uniforms too. I'm a prisoner, you're a prisoner too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, I have fears, you have fears too. I will die, but yourself will die too. Life is beautiful, don't you think so too, Mr. Jailer? I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast his stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer man, you suppress all my strategies. You oppress, oh, every part of me. What you don't know, you're a victim too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, you don't care about my point of view. If I die, another will work for you. So you treat me like a modern slave, Mr. Jailer. I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast his stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer man, I hear my baby say, I want to be president. I want your money from my government. What he don't know, what he won't know, what he can't know. Jailer, Jailer, oh, be good, whoa, be good, whoa, be good, whoa. Somebody be good, whoa, be good, whoa, be good. Oh, be good, whoa, be good, whoa, be good, whoa. Jailer, Jailer, Mr. Jailer man. For Mr. Morrison.
Woo!
The world he creates, he has to live in as well.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All the comments in the chat is that all AGMs should have music, and Shannon points out that the music has transported us beyond those borders that have been closed for too long. So absolutely amazing to have you here and share those songs. And the last one is a bit of a call to arms, and that's why we're here and that's why we're doing the work we're doing. So thank you so much, Stella.
Thank you for having me. It's my first gig in quite a while.
And it's on the screen, which is not normal.
No, there's nothing normal about doing gigs in my own dining room, but here we are. It's a whole new world.
Yeah, adaptability.
Yeah.
All righty, back over to you, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. I can't get the smile off my face after that. It was incredible. Both Stella and Unmani, how beautiful to hear that music from you today. Thank you so much for sharing your talents with us. And Bonnie, again, thank you for your openness and your candour in sharing with us today. It really is a privilege to have you come and share your time with us, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, Jenny, for leading us through that last part of the meeting. I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their day to join us today. I think from what I'm seeing in the comments, everyone has enjoyed their time here, and I hope that you'll go on into the rest of your day now with a smile on your face. I hope you've enjoyed the ideas, the speakers and the performers we've brought to you today. And please do take care, and we hope to see you all again next year. Thank you.